to Streethouse, baby, here on Crafthouse TV. You're with me, April's the queen of my piano, or the fine fruit. So you better tell a friend to tell a friend that the show has started, baby. And before we start with everything else, how about we have this fine tune by Uno featuring Pixie, and this track is called Mkango. Enjoy.
Sini pona toto kakong aku tinawawasha. Aku jadi pimpa another song that imenya sawacha. Aku nakutana si kufika pamoja chimuda si. Chai mama fana kutaka si aku chocha pafika katunga si. Kango ukakona nikango. So move, see, Shasha, Shasha, let me yeah, it's back with a tone. They thought it was gone, and I figured they are not, and I figured they couldn't last long. It's back with a tone, kicking rappers in the grunt, smoking niggas like a John Polio. The verses, put it back in all the raps and the traps, parts on point, flow on point. God but it's also my strength. Sadana hundi baka ndikaka funa bloga madali so anga he breaks those chains. Kumuvesa bed taka taka nkangeni mwazi windi ngadi ndidi venture zamufaka jabulo spa bench. Okay. For a second, could it be that I'm blessed? Every nigga getting mad with the raps. So when it's like I goes for the sprats and the bracks, getting trash in a bunch of border bags. Could it be that I'm divided this one and the bracks? Everybody trooping trash and it's really kinda sad. No good niggas off the charts, no good niggas off the spot. That's the fact, yes. So move, I see, Shasha, Shasha, let me groove, I see. Only God I fear, Chipululu, I still see clear. Where the word of God I speak it, with him I can make it anywhere. My chance been clear, that's because I believe in prayer. Only God can judge me, none of you can. It's not clear, stay in your lane. Punk the Zakwa said, mind your business and excel. The be hitting when you win, and be talking greasy when you fail. Or something get Kanawa says, minutes on the Z1, I see really well. My gun is all sally well, me dear, my yaw see well. Could it be that I'm blessed? Every nigga getting mad with the rap. So when it's like I goes for the sprats and the bracks, getting trash in a bunch of border bags. Could it be that I'm divided this one and the bracks? Everybody trooping trash and it's really kinda sad. No good niggas off the charts, no good niggas off the spots. That's the fact, yes. So move, I see, Shasha, Shasha, let me groove, I see.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Who Is Segment, a fascinating segment whereby we get to chat with dissimilar, divergent, famous, popular people in the country. I go by the name Apples, the queen of my piano, or the fine fruit. So today it is an honor, ladies and gentlemen, because I have a tremendous guest in the studios, and this is no other than Taps Bandawe.
Hey, what's up, people?
What is that? What is that?
I'm honored, privileged, just excited to be here.
You're super excited.
Absolutely.
I am.
To be with the queen of Amapiano right here.
Amen.
Being interviewed. Come on, man.
Amen.
Doesn't get better than that. I appreciate it very much.
Africa. The time has come. Keep rising. To Baba, let's go.
All hands on deck, let's save our world. It's you and I together in the name of the Lord. We are together in this, from north, south, west to east. Let's make the keys, leaving heaven.
Got to our time, let's take a stand. All we gotta do is try to make a plan. We got the willpower to understand. Try to take command of our motherland.
Usipojipenda, nani atakupenda? Usipojijenga, nani atakujenga? Tusaidiane, Afrika moja. We protect ourselves and our future. It's never too late to unify. Cause if we come together, we can touch the skies. Oh yeah, yeah.
Mulungu wanga, nipase nichikondi chemu na pasa makolo wanga.
Taps Bandawe.
Yeah,
Thank
man,
you so
boss.
much
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you
through.
so much. I
Like
really
said,
appreciate
it is an honor having you here.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank you.
so first of all, may you please tell the public who Taps Bandawe is, where you stay, and what you do?
No problem. Taps Bandawe is a entrepreneur, a producer. Stay in Blantyre. Got a company as well called Go Mountain Limited. That's in the media circle. But what I'm known for mainly out there is producing, various artists in Malawi. But yeah, my story is over 30 years in the business, music business, in South Africa, in the UK, and in Malawi. So that's the long and short.
Oh, nice. So is Taps your real name?
Yeah, my full name's Tapua Bandawe.
Tapiwa.
Yes,
Oh,
not
okay.
Tapiwa, Tapua.
Tapua.
Yeah, that's like the original Tapiwa. You see,
The
my mom
original
is Shona. My mom is from Zimbabwe, so it's like
okay.
the real,
Tapua.
yeah, Tapua, the deep Shona.
So it's pronounced Tapua.
Yeah, Tapua.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Tapua.
But then here in Malawi, it's Tapiwa.
Yeah, no, or even in South Africa.
In South Africa.
Yeah, it's in South Africa. In Zimbabwe, it's pronounced Tapiwa, some. But now the real deep one is Tapua.
Tapua.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
Tapatsirwa.
Tapatsirwa.
Yeah,
Ah,
it means
twende
yes.
Tapatsirwa.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So, Taps,
Yeah.
when did you discover your passion for music production?
Oh man, I want to start revealing how old I am really. So really my real passion started in say around about 1984.
1984.
Yeah, 1984.
That long?
Yeah, man. 1984 I was at
Man.
school here in Blantyre. Then that's when the breakdance era really came into fruition, right? Then we used to have like breakdance groups. There used to be lots of breakdance competitions here in Blantyre, Malawi. The main one being in Mount Sochi, the national one. So I was in a group called Renegades. We won the national title for breakdancing. From there into rap. I went to school in South Africa. There was a whole music department there. So that's really when I really got deep into music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you do breakdance.
big time.
Can you try a little bit? Okay.
Nah.
Can you...
Oh
man.
man,
Show me your
we were
moves.
all in it. You know, we were all in
Okay.
it. We were all in it.
All
see
right,
now.
I see
Yeah,
you.
no, we still got it.
So you've said you after finishing school at St. Andrews, you then went to South Africa.
Yeah, I went to South Africa to study there at a place called Hilton College. At Hilton, like I said, there was a whole musical department. And the guys I used to hang around with, sitting in my guy Ovuta, also were interested in music, etc. So, I really then started to understand the fundamentals, because we used to learn theory. And there was also a little studio, Jonchi. And that's where I really fell in love with the music side of it. Yeah, I really felt, because I started to understand it. Now, I got so deep into it thereafter that I decided that's my career path.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And thereafter, I went to a place called Natal University at that time, where I studied music. Yeah, studied music, sound engineering, that sort of thing. Halfway during my study, so it was going to be 4 years, but halfway in, because we had a band now there, right? We used to go to different colleges, etc. Right? We had a band, and I was sort of like the front man. We got signed, right, by a guy, Lucky Dube's manager, actually, a guy called Richard Siluma. We were just at a function, Town Hall, Durban. Then he saw us, and he said, "No, man, I like this vibe." Was at that time the music we were performing was music, Bobby Brown, so it was like new sound. In South Africa at that time, there was what was called township vibe, right?
Okay.
Yeah, the big artists at that time were, Brenda Fassie, etc. But kunalibe, hip hop, rap, none of that. So I was one of the first artists there. In fact, I was the first artist in South Africa to get a major deal, hip hop artist. I was the first artist in South Africa hip hop artist in Africa actually to go number one. Okay. We had 3 number ones, 2 gold albums in South Africa, and we had a big history. We went on tour with Brenda Fassie, with all the big artists. But the problem at that point was that in South Africa there was what was called the cultural boycott, because now I'm talking about 1991, 1992, right? 89, 90, 91, 92. A cultural boycott because it was apartheid times. So at that time, no international artist could come to perform in South Africa.
Why?
There was a boycott because they wanted to kill apartheid, right? Wow. Because now it'll benefit the main people would be the higher class people who could go to big shows, Janjani, but around the world, no music, South African music, could be played at any radio station in any country, whether it's UK, America, etc. So in fact, at that point, I was meant to have a major deal actually in the USA, Uptown Records, right? But at that point, I was very frustrated because, there was this cultural boycott, so the deal couldn't go through. We were meant to do a track with Will Smith back in the day, right? Okay. This is when he was just, the Fresh Prince, right? No, our stuff was serious back then. So that didn't happen. So I got very frustrated. In fact, I was the face of Coca-Cola, the face of Gillette razors. And but we couldn't go further. No artist could come in, no artist could go out. So it was just South Africa. So I was like the face of hip hop. And then, so I got very frustrated, and then I left. I went to the UK. 1993.
Wait, so before you went to the UK, were you still schooling?
No, I finished actually my school in the UK. I cut because now we were touring. We were everywhere now, So I finished at the end of year 2.
What?
Yeah, at the end of year 2. Because now I became a big star. Yeah, so I was like, I'll go back to this. But the opportunity to tour with these big artists, to do all this may not come again. Yeah, so even the principal at that time, the governor of the school said, "No, man, this is a great opportunity." There was the head of the label, it was Gallo Records, it was actually David Gresham Records, but they were distributed by Gallo Records, which was the biggest label in Africa. So they had to sit down with the lecturers, sit down with the parents. They said, no, go for it, but you can still be, studying, here and there. After a year, I was meant to then go back. But like I say, I left, I went to the UK. Yeah. The great thing about that time, you could just go to the UK because Malawi, you didn't need, I still had my Malawi passport. You didn't need a visa. You didn't need anything. At that time, the Malawi kwacha and the pound was actually 1-to-1.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Yes.
so I just told my guys, listen, man, 6 months going to the UK to go and try and find a deal. And that's how I left South Africa.
All right, so you schooling in South Africa.
Yeah.
And working with various popular artists,
Yeah.
tremendous artists.
Yeah.
How did you balance between you doing music as well as schooling at the same
I
time?
just went full music.
You just went.
Yeah. Went full music. Well, studies was for music. You understand? It's not like I was studying to be a doctor and then music came up. But I was studying to learn how to get into the industry, and the opportunity to get into the industry came about. So yeah, man, I was like, what am I studying
So
for?
you being signed by Lucky Dube's manager.
Yeah,
How did
Richard
that
Sluma.
make you feel?
Brilliant.
Okay.
Brilliant, man. Best time of my life, Best time of my life. But yeah, he was a very, very good mentor. Even Lucky himself became a very good mentor to me. I used to go and watch him, perform. Lucky Dube, Chico Selo Twala, and guys like that. This is before. So it was South Africa. It was like a new thing. You understand? Hip hop, what? It was like a new thing. So I was received very, very well. And the great thing at that time, it was sort of like Malawians were leading the way, because I was in entertainment. Say in the new urban vibe, there was Taps Bandawe, Taps. Doing this new vibe of music. And then in football, there was Innocent Tawari, who was like the big star in football. So it was like Malawians really, in various sectors, So we were doing big things there, and we were, looked up to it at that point. So yeah, it was a very good experience.
All right, so when you went to the United Kingdom, what is happening there?
When I went to the United Kingdom, initially I went to get a deal. See, I was an artist. I was producing here and there a little bit, right? But I went to really look for a record deal, because I thought, I've done it here, I can do it there. But it was tough, It was tough.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Because you get there, you do these little shows, but it was a different sound. Because the UK had a different sound.
Because you got used to the South African sound.
So I got used to, because what my sound, I was blending African beat with the international sound, so to speak, right? American sound. When I went to the UK, they had their own thing. Better if I had gone to America. But when I went to the UK, they had their own sound at that time, They had their own sound, because they were more influenced by the Caribbean, the urban sound. They were more influenced by Jamaica, right? So they had groups at that time like Soul to Soul, groups like that. So I'll go every 2 days. I had a manager who was also the manager of Tetratronics. Yeah, that's another story how I really went to the UK, because the Tetratronics, who did Pump Up the Jam. I don't know if you know that. Right? They came to South Africa. I went on tour with them. And it was like, no, man, you need to come to the UK. So that's how part of it, of how I wound up in the UK. But yeah, John Cheatham was the manager. We would go record company. They were like, yeah, man, but this isn't the sound, because they were looking for a certain sound, right? So it got very frustrating. After 6 months, my guy was like, man, it's tough, Either go back or you stay. I was like, nah, I'm gonna stay, man.
Okay, were you regretting that the music you found in the UK was totally different from the sound in South Africa?
50-50. 50-50. Because in South Africa, I was getting calls every few days, man. Come here, man. It's now changed. Everything is happening here, right? At that time, there was guys like Oskido now.
Yes.
All these guys, TKZ. They were all under us, all these guys. You know what I mean? That even from up to now, it's a very strong bond with guys like Ishmael, guys like that, because they were like the guys who were following me, right? Back in those days. So they were calling, the record company was calling, but I was like, nah, man. And then we see how it pans out here. Then just before I was about to go back, right, to South Africa. Yeah, because they offered me a big deal with Coca-Cola. I said, listen, come back, man. We'll offer you a big deal. I then I met a business partner of mine who was like a top producer, right? And he had links with Warner Music. And then we really started, producing, getting into more, because at that point I was getting more into production. I was like, this artist thing, no, right? So going more into production, but he was at a very high level. He'd work with big guys. He'd work with a lot of the big artists in America, Genuine, etc., etc. A lot of big artists. He started showing me the fundamentals, the real fundamentals of production, right? And at that point, I was about to go back, but then because we set up a studio now in Walthamstow in London, right? And it started. We got just at that point, one of the group that we were producing, right, demos for, we got a deal, a group called Blazing Squad. Google it, you know what I mean? Because this sounds like what's that like a Forrest Gump story, right? But it's all fact. And so Blazing Squad, we got signed now, the biggest deal of the year. I think it was 2000, something like that. Yeah, the biggest deal in the UK, a group called Blazing Squad. It was 10 guys, 15-year-old guys, right? Yeah. So we did that, and that's why I stayed. Yeah, Blazing Squad. We had 3 number ones with Blazing Squad. We had 2 gold albums, and then we started working with various big artists now as a producer. Would you go? Were you okay? Go? Yeah.
Seems like you were born to be a producer.
Yeah, definitely.
It's in your blood.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
So fast forward, you come to Malawi.
Yes.
2007.
2007. Yeah, I came to Malawi. Actually, I was coming just to look.
Just to
check out what because I hadn't been there for a while. Parents were like, "No, come through, man. We're getting old. We need to see you.
Here.
We miss you." You know what I mean?
Yes.
Then at that point, Oscar, Theo's father, and head of 101. Yeah, so he called. He's like, "Hey, man, my kid is in the UK. Produce them." So Theo was in a little band with 3 guys, so they used to come a lot. Then Oscar came. He's like, "I've got a record. 101 in Malawi. Jan, when you come through, come, man, we'll do some music." So that's how I came to Malawi. Then I stayed. I said, "No, man." So it just carried on. I just carried on staying.
Okay.
Yeah, we set up Matalala Records, and I just stayed, just started producing. Then Lucius would come. All the big artists now started coming to Matalala. Yes, yeah.
They flocked to
Green,
your studio.
Dan Lu, all the artists. Yeah, Theo himself now came back to Malawi.
Okay.
So at that time, once again, we changed the sound. Because at that time, urban music was very limited, right? So then we said, no, let's change the sound now. Let's take Malawian sound to
taking
this.
Malawi
Yes,
to the next level.
To the next level.
All right, so Taps Bandawe.
Yeah.
You being the enormous, tremendous, one of the tremendous producers in the country.
Yeah, thank you.
People, when it comes to music production and beat making.
Okay.
You
Very
being
true,
a producer,
very true.
may you please tell us, Eddie, elaborate. What is the distinction between beat making and music production?
Oh, very good, very good. The difference is, right, in music in general, there's different areas, all right? So for a song to be made, there's usually, in the first world, right, a producer, an engineer, songwriting team, obviously the management, etc., session musicians, right? So now a producer, right, in the real sense of the word, a producer is someone, first of all, who has the whole vision of the record, of the project, so to speak, right? He has the whole vision of the project. So what a producer does, he sets the vision of the project, because you could be a singer, right? You could be a singer. Now I say, okay, I'm a piano. Okay, I'm a piano. I ain't gonna a piano. I'm a piano ka sound ka mangolongondo. We add mangolongondo in there, right? So a producer, yes, it makes the beats, plays here and there, you can play, but it's So for example, let me give you an example. With Tay Grin, right? An example here. When I first met Tay, he was doing just normal hip hop, right? But he was intrigued in the sound Echi Malawi, right? Ngoma, Janjani, etc. This cultural stuff. So my job was to say, okay, now let's blend that sound, right? So we'd get, we do the beat, of course, but then you get the best guys who play those drums. You get the best sort of like singers for the BV. You get the right guys to play, to the instrumentation, right? So it's really the whole collective. It's, for example, I'll give you an example. Say when someone says they're producing a movie, right? There's script writers, there's actors, there's cameramen, there's the producer's the guy who controls that whole
media.
Yeah, the whole team and makes everything gel as one. So that's the producer. So we know that means a beat and in a producer.
Okay, one can be a beat maker.
Yes, no,
that
that's
person
it.
cannot be a producer.
No, it can be. Me myself, I'm a beat maker. But there's certain points I make the beat, and then the production is a whole different animal. Because For example, Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre is a producer, the best producer to ever do it. But it doesn't mean with Dr. Dre, I'm going to fast banga beat, no. Dr. Dre has a team of 6, right? Different rooms, where our wanga beat. He has a group of keyboard players. He has, for example, Scott Storch, another producer, graduated as a keyboard player in Dr. Dre's production entity, right? Where he says now, okay, no, you can also produce, right? So production is really, it's basically like an orchestra conductor, right? There's oboe, there's trumpet, there's what. So a producer puts that all together.
Speaking of music production, you produced Dan Lu's song "Take My Body."
Yeah.
Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
No, because of controversy, man. That was crazy controversy. Crazy controversy.
Yes. So I saw a post
Yeah.
on your page whereby you apologized to the
Definitely,
public.
Yeah.
Why were you apologizing?
All right. The song, all right. First of all, with Dan, I've been working with Dan 10 years, all Part of Life and Sanjay. All those tracks, we work together. I've seen him grow. So this track we were in the studio. It was actually a someone from the States, because I work with a label in the States. Say, hey man, how about this? We'll build the beat, right? And they came with, hey man, how about we take a track, right? Because the beat is has a sexual vibe,
Yes.
All right. So now, when doing the song, this word came up. So in my eyes, right, in my naivety, I didn't know the word kamuchichewa, kamuchizungu.
But Daddy, there is a difference. Ati, palima wena utakunena muchichewa.
Yes.
Ukanena
Muchizungu is samhoni. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Muchizungu is samhoni. If there's 50 million songs, R. Kelly, everybody's calling me. There's, everyone sings. Or even all the Nigerians that are happening now. Now, we did the song. To me,
it was
and
okay.
even to Dan.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Now, the idea of that song was in Malawi. It wasn't even meant to be released first in Malawi. It was meant to be released in South Africa and in the States around the Malawian communities, etc. At nightclubs, where you can go to midnight. Nyimbo just say we wanted to make it like a midnight song, Then we'll get it in Malawi. You can go to blues kuja midnight. It wasn't even meant to be social media. What? Because obviously we knew that it was of an adult nature.
Yes.
But I didn't know how deep. Now, we sent the clip. Clip.
Yeah.
So I sent it to 3-4 guys. Hey guys, what do you think of this? Usiku meno. Mama, my phone is blowing up.
Tabs, what have you done?
What's going on?
What's going on,
What's
man?
going on, yo?
Yes.
Dana, what's going on? It's on social media.
Were you all tensed up, man?
No, in the beginning, I was very defensive because I thought, social media, I said, it wasn't even meant to be out. So first I'm thinking, how did this get out? Because this song wasn't meant to be released, right? Now, first I was like, okay, well, it's out there. Now I've never had my phone blow up like this ever. I'm getting calls from my aunties who I haven't spoken to in 10 years.
Really?
I'm getting calls from different societies.
Wow.
That's why I'm getting calls from clients. Now it's 50-50.
Okay, so what were they saying when they called you?
Some were saying, some were saying, what the hell is this? What are you doing? It's blowing up. So first I was defensive, right? I was like, no, it's a song, man. I mean, it's a song. I mean, you guys all the time we listen to R. Kelly, we listen to Boys to Men, I'll Make Love to You, we listen to what, Now, the one who makes the difference, Lucia This is Chichewa. He broke it down. There were two guys, actually. There was another guy in the UK. Broke it down. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm getting from censorship board, everyone's quoting me now. Because the song wasn't meant to be offensive. It's meant to be a fun thing. I was like, no, man. I think we've crossed the line here. For sure, it's offensive. Now, my group out. Now, I've never had that, right? My group who want to every 2 minutes I switched off my phone. I switched off my phone. My client was saying the tower. It's like this in a shah. That one, that photo was there. Oh, shah. Okay, all right, okay. Then I saw that no, man. Here we're not here to offend. The song is meant to be cat dance and okay,
so who made the video viral?
I don't know. Up to this day, I don't know. Because that clip was
that
just to send to my guy. I don't know. No, I sent it to about 5-6 guys. We always send it to
one of them.
Different. Yeah. Now when I'm in my group, it was enough for food. I don't want that. Koma, Sinati.
What was Dan's reaction?
Dan's an artist, man. Dan is an artist. He's a creative. Dan's reaction was, it's a song, it's a song. Dan's reaction, but also he was getting now calls from also big people, priests, etc. So he was like, so I said, no. He was also feeling the steam, the heat. So, I said, no, Dan, it's not your fault, it's my fault. I'm the producer. At the end of the day, if we're going to do a song, you was an artist. Dan is an absolute tip-top artist because he understands the role of a producer and they trust you to take the direction. Eddie?
So you personally, do you regret producing the song?
No. I don't. How can you regret it? Because it's done. It's what I've learned. I regret offending people, definitely. That I regret, which is why I issued the apology. But I don't regret, doing the song because I learned from it. I learned a bit more about my culture, in fact, about how sensitive, Chichewa is.
Yes.
Yeah.
There were rumors that you, Tigrin, Jole Bro were having a beef. May you please tell us what this beef is all about, man? Because I am all ears right now. I want to, yes, Yama beef.
You see, this is hip hop, right? JB, Tigrin, Lomwe, all this when this was happening, right? It was, we were at the center of this thing because obviously that's the time when music was really changing. So all these guys who were enjoying the sound now, it's just urban music now. Back in those days, urban music was just in a kakona. So all these guys are pioneers. Jolly Bro, Tay Green, Lomwe. So it's my beef with that auto. No, the stories about how those went down. But they are guys who are passionate about their music. They've got their differences. For example, with Lomwe and Tay Green, that beef was very sensitive. Where it started, I don't know if they had another beef, but it started over a track. When I first came, there was just a track I was doing. It was a beat. So Lomwe at that time was DJing at 101. He was DJing at 101. Like I said, I was doing Matala Records. So Lomwe just came I was doing the beat. Lomwe came in. And he said, "Hey, I like this beat, man. I can rap." But I didn't look at him as an artist, right? At that point, because he didn't tell me he's an artist. I just assumed him as a DJ. I was introduced as a DJ. So he came, did the beat, did a track. Ah, cool, yeah. I've got to go. Ah, cool. As he was going, Tay Green was coming in. Now Tay, I knew as an artist because at that time he had released Stand Up, etc. So I wasn't familiar who's an artist, what, but I was familiar with Tay. When he came in, and I was singing the beat, I said, "Hey, what's that beat?" Right? It's a beat. He said, "Hey, man, I like that beat." I said, "Yeah, no problem." Hammer. TNI. So I muted Lomwe's parts, and they were very good. In fact, if you listen to the track, it's a track called Focus Africa.
So why did you mute Lomwe's?
No, because someone walks in, you can play maybe that beat to 5-6 different people. You understand? So we need to mabanga good as a nyimbo you that will say. Yeah, because we've done other tracks. So now we did the beat. Tay did the beat. It sounded good.
It was fire.
Yeah, it was fire. Lomwe's was fire as well. So Lomwe called me, "Hey man, that beat." I said, "Oh no, man, I just took guy took the beat and it's on the radio." Because at that time I didn't know who's who. So I don't know if there was something else before that. But that definitely put flames on this thing. So it's
what
cool.
Jolly
I love
Bro
Jolly Bro.
does,
Yeah.
is it constructive criticism? What is that?
No, Jolly Bro is like 50 Cent, He's like a 50 Cent character who he thrives off, aggression. But he's very sharp in his mind. Jolly Bro, yeah, he's just an aggressive character, but he's a deep thinker.
Okay.
Yeah, he's he can come across as a bully, but when you say with Jolly Bro, we used to sit down, have drinks. I've never seen that side of him personally, right? In terms of when we chill, then because he's like a young brother, he's like a young brother. So, but it's hip hop. Hip hop is that energy, it's that energy. And there was back in those days there was beef between Physics and Jolly Bro, and first they were brothers. Then they're hip hop, hip hop, but it keeps people talking.
Yes.
Keeps people talking.
Okay. Yeah. So you being one of the biggest producers, like I said, here in Malawi, the music industry, do you think we are there yet, or we are still?
Yeah, you see, okay, yes and no.
Yes and no?
Yeah.
Why?
Yes, in terms of the talent that we have. I think we're competitive with any country, the talent. Right? Ajina Dremo, Ajina Kelke, Ajina, all these guys, man. They're all at a high level. Namadingo, Zeze, we've all got that energy. Where we can compete, artist for artist, even the females. But what we don't have, unfortunately, what we don't have is a sound.
A sound.
That's the most important thing. We need a Malawian sound. Unless we get a Malawian sound, there's no one who's going to make it. And it's going to be, it can't just be just one guy. It's going to be a whole movement, like how South Africa have done. It's everyone in that country is consolidated around Mapiano. Now it's gone global. In Nigeria, everyone is consolidated around Afrobeats. This is our thing. This is how we do it. There's a formula to it. I don't know if you remember that time there was Zambia in the beat when the third year she came in and I did nice on the sound.
Yes.
you see, that's how you export it. Now in Malawi, we started now making sounds like Zambia. Now we're making sounds Amapiano, or we're making sounds like Nigeria. That's fine. But how do we now fuse that into a Malawian thing? Unless we do that, and it has to be one voice. One voice. I'll give you an example. I'll keep going back to Tay Green because he's the perfect example. Do you know he's the only artist in Malawi who has fused Malawian cultures? Mazaka is obviously that's his sound, right? And he's the only artist who's won international awards. Because let me tell you something. When we went to Big Brother, we went the first year, and time 2x2, etc. These guys were in awe because we played it now, obviously performed the two Big Brother. All the music executives, everyone was coming like, wow, what sound is that, man? How are you fusing that? Tell us about that drum. Tell us about this. You can't go there to South Africa with a South African thing and they be impressed. No. That's how thereafter they invited him the next year. He won, all those Channel O awards, etc., etc. Right? So Malawi, how are we doing? But we're working on something though.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be,
Are you going to disclose it right now?
No, I won't disclose it now.
Okay.
But all the producers as a collective, man, it's going to be powerful. It's going to be a powerful sound. It's Malawian sound, Yeah, and hopefully, the public gets behind us, supports it. But unless we do that, unless we come up with a sound that is ours, forget it.
All right, so we've now come to the end of Who Is segment inside Streethouse right here on Crafthouse TV. It was a pleasure having you here.
No, it was my pleasure. I know I spoke, man. but I have to speak. I had the opportunity to get to you. And my job now is as a teacher, so I had to labadaba.
All right, so a word or two to the public before we close.
No, word to the public is just, thank you for everything. I'm talking now as an artist. You're supporting Malawian artists. But I think we need to just work as a team, the artists and the public. We need to work as a team because our thing is one thing, Kutukula Malawi. That is it, Kutukula Malawi. And that's important. But thank you, and thank you. Apples Maita. Thank you. So, hey, one bit. You're going to be a big star. That's for sure.
I'm humbled.
For sure.
Shout outs.
No, shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to all the guys who, from back in the day. Like I say, all the stars that I've worked with from, South Africa to here, to everybody, my parents, my family. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to my son. Everybody, and all my kids actually. I've got 3.
And to me too.
Shout out to Apples, yo.
Shout out to Apples.
Shout out to Apples, yo. And shout out to Crafthouse TV.
Oh yeah.
I want to say what you guys are doing here is very, very special.
Okay.
That's why I said no to come here. I'm honored actually. This is what I'm talking about. Everybody playing their part to raise the game in music. So my thing is to, guys, let's support this Crafthouse TV. And more importantly, the corporate world, you need to get on here. Get your ads, support this thing because it's going to be something massive. And it's done very, very professionally, more important. Thank you, you guys.
Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this marks the end of Who Is segment, whereby I was chatting with Taps Bandawe. Hey, man, I'm enjoyed. All right, so you've been with me, Apples, the Queen of the Piano, or the Fine Fruits.
I want you to go get them wherever they are. Unite them.
Bring them together. Connect them.
Do you understand what you need to do? Basengini.
Chilano, Chatu, Chati Anjanita, Nipo, Zambiri, Dakwanilita, Maganizo, Atu, Marigalilo, Atu, Maso Atu, Patukolo, yeah.
from. No matter what race or tribe, together we can change each other's lives. Let's celebrate.
Together we are one man, just be yourself. I'm allowed, we move my heat and believe in ourselves. Me check with me friends from me phone and them alright. Me, yes man, I'm feeling alright. Moon shining bright and it's alright. Smiles everywhere shining like stars.
Black Chuck full of in and away, Loda Musa, it's okay. They are zero. The fair Mosimo in Pampo, Bagero. That's the I am big, I got zero. Messi Wawa, Tiemi Sangalale. Masilimbamu, Masobato Golo, Messi Wawa, Tiemi Sangalale. Masilimbamu, Masobato Golo. Chole dancing, 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 the chole dancing, 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 dancing.
Dima wachoka kwa wala ngini hili bonde mavuto atsala tapeza mansala kunjoya kwa pawauka sanje ikonda njeudan wanu langwan
Nyowed up from head to toe, Come on ma, let's head to the flow. Swag on HDPBR, well connected, Egdel, dance perfected.
Ezitoba mwezuka ngowala sote kuli mavuto kwa lelo tiyiwala Wasiku ngoda kwa nisomwe tikuchita Esikutega yifukwa timaita
If it had not been for the Lord on our side, well, what would we be? Faith must sing with me. Ikutali, kumetachoka, kuntunda, kumapili, ambuye, msarisi etoka, kale nafe, kakatika pike,
Tatiwa kuti ndifeyani Havulilo kuti chilumikizani
let's celebrate enhancing people's lives. Don't say this or take a deal over.
Dancing, dancing, the chole dancing, 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 dancing.
and welcome to another fascinating segment of Streethouse. Ears out right here on Crafthouse TV, and my name is Apos, the queen of my piano, or the fine fruit. Some call me papaya, tomato, peaches, kaya, Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we do have interesting stories for you today. So at the outset, Driemo will be launching his first album this year on the 12th of August 2023 at Comesa Hall in Blantyre. So there will be different interesting artists performing at this fascinating event, including Zeze Kingston, Elaine Juchi, Pixie will be there. So you guys also have to be there. So we did have a chat with Driemo, and he says it is quite intimidating for him, it being his first album launch. So but then he believes everything will work out perfectly. So this is what he had to say. Take a look. We'll be right back.
Like for real, you be spinning like that. Look the way she be looking at me. Pass the peanut and butter. She want me, she said it don't really matter. We different and it don't really matter. What them say, what them say. What them say, what them say. I'm from GC, from Karunga. I do R&B and she like the rumba. What do you want? She said she won't be my woman. Be my woman. Somebody call the police, I beg. Somebody call the police, I beg. See the way she loves me. Popo, yeah. Somebody can you call the popo? Popo, yeah. Somebody can you call the popo?
To be precise, or citizen Baba Zita. So I've used this name because it is helping me to express and tell people about the uniqueness, the talents, the skills that we have, which we borrowed or which they were passed on from the indigenous people, our parents, our ancestors, so that the world should know what Malawians are capable of doing. And someone who's originally from Malawi, what do they have to offer? So that's what this album is all about. It's never been easy recording. You know, there's time whereby you run out of ideas, you run out of concepts, you run out of beat ideas and all sorts kind of things. But it's never been easy. Like as I said, it's a big thing, so it's never been easy recording this particular album. Despite some, some fun. It was kind of fun, but hard. And yes, there are collaborations on this album, for which I'm not yet to disclose because it's a surprise to people. It's never been easy recording. You know, there's time whereby you run out of ideas, you run out of concepts, you run out of beat ideas and all sorts kind of things. But it's never been easy. Like as I said, it's a big thing, so it's never been easy recording this particular album. Despite some, some fun. It was kind of fun, but hard. And yes, there are collaborations on this album, for which I'm not yet to disclose because it's a surprise to people. People should expect that top-notch performance, something they have never seen before. I guarantee that, because we are coming up with ideas on how to make it more spicy and interesting, something very catchy that somebody would love to see more. And I believe that by that particular time will be very limited, because there will be fun all over and happiness all over. So yeah, that's it.
Somebody can you call the police? She loves me. Somebody pick the phone and call. Mine is in danger. Somebody pick the phone and call. Your boy is in danger. This girl, you be feeling me.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we move on. So JJC has released a fascinating music video of Fire. It's a nanny a fire, oh, how wish I was in the music video, man. But then, man, I'm not in the music video. Anyway, so we did have a chat with JJC where he spoke about this spectacular song, Fire. So after this, you will watch Fire music video for the very first time because we are the first TV to show you what JJC has for us. So take a look and enjoy.
Yo, Wagwan people, Fire music video now out, and first time watch it is on Crafthouse TV. Keep it rocked. JJC, aka Mr. 1-2 people. Live for that.
Itanani on fire, oh, msana vule maraya, oh, itanani polisi ya kubi, kudeni sindi fire. Ayaka yeah. Wera, right nation, ajai wasakena. Ndafikira tuko mamaloda, baman ponya petroda, mabebi tu ndangoda, bako pambako tikungododa, biko, my miko, biko, you my zigo. Wana wakaona nyanja, wapeza maspika pana kungonjanja. Familia hanga, di maipeza auti, sinigita dauti, azinzanga, di maipeza auti. Oh, tenere wanga maupeza kumoa ineo. Oh, maso wanga mateka kumoa. Itanani on fire, oh, msana vule malaya. Oh, itanani polisi hapo bi, uteni sindi fire. Oh, itanani on fire, oh, msana vule malaya. Oh, itanani polisi hapo bi, uteni sindi fire. Oh, nikamwamua ndi masangala, mabuto hosene ndi balalala. Abutaje apande mwafika, pamano hot monga paprika. Biko, my miko, biko, you my ziko. Wana wakaona nyanja, wapeza maspika pana kungonjanja. Familia hanga, di maipeza auti, sinigita dauti, azinzanga. Di maipeza auti, ndati ne, oh. Tenere wanga maupeza kumoa ineo. Oh. Maso wanga mateka kumoa. Itanani on fire, oh, msana vule malaya. Oh, itanani polisi hapo bi, uteni sindi fire. Oh, itanani on fire, oh, msana vule malaya. Oh, itanani polisi hapo bi, uteni sindi fire. Oh,
Kulisiki malaria, asekura teoria, tungo pangaza tu, tungo fila wantu.
Biko, my miko, biko, you my ziko. Wana wakaona nyanja, wapeza maspika pana kungonjanja. Oh, tenere wanga maupeza kumoa ineo. Oh, maso wanga mateka kumoa. Itanani on fire, oh, msana vule malaya. Oh, itanani polisi hapo bi, uteni sindi fire. Oh, itanani on fire, oh, msana vule malaya. Oh, itanani polisi hapo bi, uteni sindi fire. Oh, itanani on fire, oh, msana vule malaya. Oh, itanani polisi hapo bi, uteni sindi fire. Oh, itanani on fire, oh, msana vule malaya. Oh, itanani polisi hapo bi, uteni sindi fire. Oh,
Zephy on the beat.
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, Zonke has also released a music video of Kambuzi. Kambuzi Kalinkonde, man. see what's up. How I wish Pastor was here beside me. We could have danced to this tune together. So Zonke has released a music video of Kambuzi, and this is the song Kambuzi. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Ears out inside Streethouse here on Crafthouse TV. Ira Star. To those of you who don't know Ira Star is a Nigerian R&B and Afro-pop artist. She is huge, ladies and gentlemen. So she will be having a world musical tour. So one of the countries she will be in is Malawi, baby. Yes! The warm heart of Africa. So Ira Star will be in the country on the 15th of October 2023. So we will be updating you on where she will be performing. So you just gotta be ready. So get ready, baby, and let's go dance with Ira. Me not get the time for the heads and the bad and the dick. Got my mind on my money. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful people, this marks the end of the Streethouse program, the 4th edition of Streethouse. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are amazing. Mwah! I am sending kisses, hugs. I love you so much. You've been with me. Apples, the queen of my piano, or the fine fruit. Papaya, apples, tomato is going. Adios, amigos.
Wera, right nation. Ajai wasakena ndafikira tuko mamaroda baman ponya petroda mabebi tu ndangoda bako pambako tikungododa biko my migo biko you my zigo wona wakaona nyanja wapeza maspika pana kungonjanja familia anga di my pesa auti sinigita dauti azinza the mapesa auti. Oh, tendere wanga maupeza kumoa ineo. Oh, maso wanga mateka kumoa. Itanani afaya. Oh, msana fule malaya. Oh, itanani polisi hapo bi uteni sindivaya. Oh, itanani afaya. Oh, msana fule malaya. Oh, itanani polisi hapo bi uteni sindivaya. Oh, nikamwamua ndi masangala mavuto hosene ndi balalala akutaje hapa ndemwafika pamalo monga paprika Biko, my Miko Biko, you my ziko wona ukaona nyanja wapeza maspika pana kungonjanja familia yanga ndi maipesa auti sinijitata uti azinzanga ndi mapesa auti ndati ne oh oh tendere wanga maupeza kumoa ine oh oh maso wanga mateka kumoa itanani afaya oh msana fule malaya oh itanani polisi hapo bi uteni sindivaya oh itanani afaya oh msana fule malaya oh itanani polisi hapo bi uteni sindivaya oh
Mulisiki malaria asekura teoria tungo pangaza tu ingofila wantu
Biko, my Miko Biko, you my ziko wona ukaona nyanja wapeza maspika pana kungonjanja oh tendere wanga maupeza kumoa ineo oh maso wanga mateka kumoa itanani afaya oh msana fule malaya oh itanani polisi hapo bi uteni sindivaya oh itanani afaya oh msana fule malaya oh itanani polisi hapo bi uteni sindivaya oh itanani afaya oh msana fule malaya oh itanani polisi hapo bi uteni sindivaya oh itanani afaya oh msana fule malaya oh itanani polisi hapo bi uteni sindivaya oh
Zephy on the beat.